With every step along the Harpeth River's banks,
Let's go see if it's shallower over there.
Dory Bowles searches
All right, let me see if I can find anything interesting.
for rocks.
We're going to see if we can find some.
More specifically, the CEO of the Harpeth River Conservancy is trying to find the insects that could be underneath the rocks.
Certain ones are indicative of really good water quality, and if they're not there, if they're absent, then it means it's not as good water quality.
And in some places across the state, those insects are now harder to find as water quality problems become more widespread in Tennessee. In 2010, state researchers listed 32% of the rivers they tested as impaired, meaning they're too polluted to support all of their uses. But in a new report, that number jumps to 55%. The most common problem is E. coli, a bacteria tied to human and animal waste.
I don't know about you, but I'd prefer not to swim or paddle in a river or stream that's polluted with human or animal waste.
Amanda Garcia heads the Tennessee office of the Southern Environmental Law Center and says the true numbers could be even worse because state officials only sampled half of Tennessee's rivers.
We probably have a lot bigger pollution problem than we're even aware of. We're blessed with this abundant water all around us, and to not be able to interact with it, to not be able to swim or wade or take your canoe out, it's a pretty sad state of affairs.
A state of affairs that Garcia says flows from the state capitol.
It's not just that we don't have strong enough laws in place. The General Assembly is actively weakening those laws.
In 2016, lawmakers loosened stormwater regulations. The next year, they removed water quality permit requirements for many industrial farms. And in the last session, lawmakers tried to roll back protections for decentralized sewers.
And this is happening even though citizens are submitting complaints, are trying to communicate that they're smelling raw sewage in their backyard, or, there are chicken farms nearby that are polluting the rivers.
But state environmental directors say lawmakers aren't the problem.
We're in communication with state lawmakers on what we feel will work and not work.
Jenny Dodd instead blames the state's booming population.
More of our streams are impaired for things that are more of a collective activities, like population growth or agriculture.
But when I asked if actions at the state capitol made it more difficult to improve water quality,
so many of these things we are working with partners at a local level, and so we continue to see progress.
environmental advocates worry that progress won't be enough.
See, right over here, there's a whole bunch of rocks.
And insects will become even harder to find.
Without stronger protections at the state level, I think that we are likely to see worsening water quality.
In Nashville, Eric Hilt, News Channel 5.